let's talk about measuring. So, Alan, we're going to stick with you. When you think about culture as a strategy, not a perk, how do you measure whether or not it's working?
Yeah. Todd hit it earlier. Data. Data is king. And how we're measuring it at Avenir Azora, obviously, we look at our employee team member engagement surveys, which we do twice a year. We look at it and measure a net promoter score. We look at a score that senior leaders value people as their most important resource. There's a question set on that. There's a part of our 360 where we're asking that same question and the perception, does this leader value people? Um, Manager retention. We look at 90-day retention in our business, 12-month retention. We measure the number of team members that have completed our core values training. We have an employee value proposition where we promise our team members certain aspects, and on a monthly basis on our global calls, we share results and to maintain the transparency. And I think really retention is the strongest measurement of culture because people decide with their feet and with their heart whether they're going to stay or whether they're going to leave.
Oh, that's a really good saying. I want to add something to what you said before Todd shares his answer, but you mentioned the 90-day check-in, the 12-month. I was at a talent conference recently in Atlanta, and we went into little subgroups and we tried to come up with different ways to increase retention. And one of the things I threw out there that I think is like, how can we be more unexpected, right? So a lot of people go into a career or a job and they're like, oh, I probably will get a 30, 60, 90-day check-in 1 year. What if you did something that was more on your 20th day or on your 67th day, something like less predictable that maybe kind of interrupts the status quo and gives that employee more of like, oh, okay, you could still do your traditional ones, but I think that sometimes having a couple sprinkled in that are a little unexpected could really help freshen it and not make it so stale. People really liked that. I don't know. Does that land with you guys?
Yeah, definitely.
Todd, what do you have?
Alan listed off lots of several great ones, and we have some similarities. So I'm going to just talk about two that are maybe a little bit different. We measure quarterly conversations. Okay, so every employee will have a quarterly conversation or should have a quarterly conversation with their supervisors. So that's something that we measure because then we know it's part of the feedback. And the key word is conversation. It is not a performance review. There's 3 questions that are to be asked. What's working well? What's working not? And the supervisor's asking, how can I better help you be successful? Those are the 3 questions. So it's not a performance review, it's a conversation. So we want to make sure, and that's something that we measure to make sure that by and large, majority of our team members are having those conversations. The other one, and this is a new one, so we really don't have a good baseline of where we need to be at and what our expectations are, but that's measuring the training. How many of our employees are taking advantage of all the different training opportunities that are presented to them? And there are some training that's, they're voluntold to take, but a lot of it is, here's an opportunity. Here's a catalog of choices. What do you want to do, And so, that's another measurement is how many of our employees are taking advantage of the training opportunities.